Rodney Loeppky is joining us now from Toronto. He is an associate professor of political science at New York University. Welcome to the broadcast at York University. Welcome to our broadcast.
Thank you, Susan.
Tell us, I'm sure you've seen the news, the polls. Is Hillary Clinton losing her lead? The polls show the race is tightening here in the days remaining.
Well, I think probably what we're seeing is a tightening that would have happened anyways, and it's been fairly well documented now that Trump's upswing was happening well before the events with the FBI director. So what we're actually seeing is a normalization of the distance between the candidates, which usually stands at anywhere between 2 and 6 points anyway.
Rodney, let's talk briefly about the email scandal and the reopening of the FBI investigation. How damaging has this been in your estimation?
Well, I think on one level, it's obviously taken the wind out of the sails of the Clinton campaign and the feeling that it was going to be an easy finish. On the other hand, we could turn that around and say that it disrupted any complacency in the Clinton campaign, which could have been equally as damaging. So I think we, in the end, we'll never know what the finish would have been like without that ostensible scandal. But nonetheless, I think that, the Clintons never come out to lose. So it's unlikely that they're simply going to lay down and let this pass.
That's right. Now, the polls are showing they're tied in Ohio and Florida. Pennsylvania, obviously, is a swing state at this point. It could go either way. No one really knows which way it's going to go. Is this alarming for the Clinton campaign?
Well, I think that it's something that they pay attention to. Of course, they have their own pollers, and the swing state polls, one needs to be very cautious of the methodologies that are used. One thing to take into account, and I think that something the Clinton campaign has confidence in, is their ground game. This is something that Clinton has been very good at for a very long time, and that the Democratic Party is very good at. And it's also, the mirror reflection of what Trump isn't doing and hasn't been doing for the entire campaign, and that is to build up a very stable electoral ground game. Politics, in the end of the day, is about knocking on doors and getting people to the polls.
That's right, and we just heard that report from our correspondent Sean Caleb's talking about the Hispanic vote, the Asian vote. More of them are actually registering, but the key is going to be getting out the vote. Do you think they will show up?
I tend to think that they will. I mean, we never know until this actually happens, and no number of polls can tell us exactly how turnout will come about. But my sense is, and it's really just an intuitive sense, that Clinton will get the turnout that she needs. And in fact, the more the numbers come in about the Hispanic community and the likelihood of her taking Florida, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, the more likely it is Democratic voters will come out.
Rodney, do you see a clear path to victory for Donald Trump? I mean, some argue that there is a path, but a lot of things have to go his way on Tuesday.
Well, indeed, a lot of things have to go his way. He does need to take Florida, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Nevada, and then he needs to pick up a series of other states. There are multiple combinations by which he could pick up those last 10 to 20 electoral college votes, but each one of them is a difficult path. So, the odds are, at least in terms of the Electoral College, heavily stacked in favor of Clinton, and that's something one needs to keep in mind when they see these small margins in national polls. The national electorate is not the same as the Electoral College.
Absolutely. Well, Rodney Loeppky from York University, we really appreciate your time. Thank you for your insight joining us from Toronto.